listening to the Casual Sports Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20. Fitzgerald is insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on 3, 1, 2, 3.
And welcome again, Bird Gang and Sons Nation. And now we're getting ready for Diamondbacks Nation. I don't know if that's what they're called. They call Diamondbacks Nation?
They do now, Earl. You said it, so they do now.
Well, all Diamondbacks fans, we are, again, the Casual Sports Show here on Monday nights to talk Arizona sports with you. I am your host, Earl Burnett. He is Sean McConnell, rocking the KSRN gear. And we love to bring this show to you every Monday night because we have our perspective of what's going on in our world of Arizona sports. You want to follow us? Facebook Live is the spot. Right now we have people coming in, going in the room here. I'm waving to all you guys. Appreciate you coming in. But if you just want to drop us a line, give us your takes on anything Cardinals, anything Suns, KAZUAL with the Z at the end of the word sports for Casual Sports. And that's on Twitter. That's on Instagram, our YouTube page, and, of course, Facebook. And now, of course, tonight, Facebook Live. We also might do something we've never done before. Maybe not tonight, but at some point, we're going to open up the Casual Sports phone line and let the Bird Gang or Sons Nation come in. Somebody that might have a question, somebody that might have a comment, somebody might have a good take on Suns.
Yeah, good takes only.
Cardinals. Yeah, good takes on Suns and Cardinals. So we might open that line up sometime soon. It all depends on how the show flows and how much time we have to do that. But in the meantime, let's go to what we normally do about this time. We have, of course, a depleted and continuing to falter Suns team. What else? Up and down. I mean, one day they're flying high, beating a good Jazz team. The next thing you know, they are getting stomped on by two bottom feeders. So never can tell where this team is and where they're going.
Oh no, we suck again.
I mean, it's so early in the show to bust that out, but I had to do it.
That explains it all, man. That's it.
The All-Star break hasn't been kind to us, apparently, because we went into the break doing pretty well, and a game out did pretty well too, but all of a sudden things have turned with Oubre being out with the meniscus tear. There is a potential upside. I don't think there's anything official announced yet, but Woj reported that Denver did a contract buyout with guard/forward Jordan McRae. Suns being a likely destination for him. He averages about 11 points a game, so could be maybe not an Oubre replacement, but at least somebody that can play that isn't on the G League.
Exactly. Somebody with some actual NBA experience. What do you think the problem is with this team as far as coming in, knowing what they're up against as far as being 4.5 or now 5.5 games behind in that playoff race? They could still have made some inroads to making that playoff run, knowing that how critical that is. How do you come into to two stinkers and not bring energy and not be advised? Is the Kelly Oubre injury really in everybody's head that much?
I think that makes the value of Kelly's contract that much more important. It's wow. There's a huge hole now, intensity-wise, preparedness-wise. The flow of the game is changing, and it's because Kelly's not there. I think it is entirely because of that. When you have that final, hey, the odds are stacked against us, but let's make that final push, and you can't do it with everybody that you intended to, it takes a lot of air out of your chest. That really takes a lot out of you. So for these Suns, I think that's kind of what happened.
Man, It's kind of frustrating because you would think.
Yeah.
Remember, we had a conversation post. No, I say post pre All-Star game.
Right.
Pre Devin Booker getting called because of Lillard getting hurt.
Lizard. Yep.
Yeah, Lizard got hurt. Before he got hurt, Devin Booker's hunger was way up here. I mean, he was like just seething ready to just attack because he didn't get in. Now that he got in and went through all the festivities, remember we said we want him to take that now and say, I belong, and go show and take his team to the next level by making that playoff push. And he hasn't done that yet. 6 games in after the All-Star break, he hasn't been All-Star, in my opinion.
Well, Warriors 21 points. He was 6 for 16. Not a good look. Pistons 26 points, 10 for 17, a little bit better, but 1 for 4 on the 3-point line. Yeah, he hasn't quite put up exactly the same numbers that you're expecting to see that next level elevation.
Exactly.
A little clip to talk about his hunger here. I mean,
Hey, man, you got something to eat up in there? We hungry.
well, Booker, you're saying Booker's not hungry anymore. I mean, you might be onto something, but I'd hate to judge his character like that. But
go Suns Nation and anybody that's into Suns right now. It doesn't matter, Cardinal fans, whoever you are. If you're a Suns fan, that's cool. Go to www.ksrnaz.com. There's a salty article that just went up about Devin Booker. I'm sorry, I had to drop it.
oh no,
I am kind of salty on it because you're an all-star now. You have to do all-star things. All-stars do not fade away and disappear in the crucial moments of games. He is turning the ball over in the crucial moments of games, at the end of games, and taking good shots, but just not making shots that he's normally making in clutch time. Those are shots that make the difference of an all-star and somebody that's carrying his team on his back and carrying him to that next level. Why is he not able to take that next step? Is he complacent with having made the all-star game?
I'm going to say no. I don't think he is. I think he's a very competitive guy. I think what it comes down to is just that Booker might have a ceiling that we just didn't know existed.
Wow.
And that ceiling is Booker isn't the guy to just carry the entire load like a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan didn't even get to carry the whole load. He had Pippen. He had role players that did a lot. Booker might be the guy that's the standout among a team that's full of teams that are like Booker on that tier.
Correct.
But when a Kelly Oubre goes down and Ricky's not always there and Ayton is finally doing it but hasn't been, he can't carry that full load. And I think that's where you're seeing some of that breakdown, some of that turnover, some of the fading away late in games. And Booker hasn't quite proven that he's a clutch player necessarily. So that also isn't helping. We don't really have a clutch player on this team right now that can go ahead and take over the fourth quarter, not just a quarter. Because Kelly can take over a quarter, but not always the fourth quarter either.
I kind of agree with that. But I'm going to add something to that. At least if he's not what you said he was, and I kind of agree with that, but at least he can still give us what he was giving us before the All-Star game.
You would think. Yeah.
He was a 30-point plus game. He hasn't had a 30-point game since the All-Star game. He hasn't had that. He hasn't had a good shooting night except for one game. I think that was the Detroit game. He shot the ball pretty good, but right now he's shooting at a 38, 39%. I mean, at least give us what you were giving us.
Right.
He was giving us 30 points a night, shooting. I mean, point wise.
Well, I don't want to be the apologist because I tend to be the apologist for players now on Arizona teams. But
right.
I think maybe with Kelly being gone too, there might be that added pressure that not only does Booker have to shoot threes, but he also has to be the one slashing now and getting to the paint more. And
Sean,
I know.
That's what all stars do. They pick up the slack and take over where it's needed, where that team needs it. Until you get somebody to replace Kelly Oubre, okay, now instead of you scoring 24, 26, you have to score 36 to 40 a night.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, All-Stars do that. Look, they matched up against what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 All-Stars since the All-Star break. They've matched up between All-Star other teams with All-Stars on them.
Mm-hmm.
Siakam, 37 points. Donovan Mitchell, 38 points. Kawhi Leonard, 24, but still, Kawhi and the Clippers, Kawhi made clutch shots in that Clipper game to put us away in that game.
Right.
Derrick Rose wasn't even an All-Star, but 31 points, played like a freaking All-Star. And then we get some kid named Eric Pascal come out of nowhere for the Warriors, 25, and outscore Devin Booker and lead the Warriors to a freaking victory of 16 points. Come on now, that's ridiculous.
No, something's up. Ridiculous. Something's up, and it might be more than just the Oubre injury. But
you right where I'm at right now.
On the positive side,
okay.
Unlike me, very uncharacteristic of me. DeAndre Ayton, 3 straight games with 20 points or more.
You haven't seen me complaining, huh?
I haven't heard nothing.
I haven't heard nothing from me complaining at all because I'm starting to say, okay, he's starting to get it.
I hope so. Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But I'm pointing that cannon at your supposed All-Star because your supposed All-Star is supposed to be able to hold the thing together. He's supposed to be able to keep it together. So I'm kind of thinking too. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm thinking that now, but I'm starting to push toward. Is D-Book checking out? Does he have his eyes set on next season and maybe forcing his way out and forcing his way to this three superstar or superstar team he wants to go hook up with or whatever it may be? Something's got this kid's head clogged and clouded right now.
It could just be as simple as this, Earl. Devin hasn't had to pay attention in March since college.
That's true.
It's sad, but think about it. He's had 5 straight coaches. In the NBA. True. He's had 5 straight losing seasons. Sometimes you just get accustomed to it, and that was kind of the worry with him was you got to start winning quicker with this kid or he's going to get just used to losing. And
right.
Coming from Kentucky, we might have finally – it's like that one you ever try to refinish furniture and you gotta sand it down and sand it down. I think the Suns have finally sanded down all the winning pedigree that Devin Booker came in with.
Right.
And now what do you have? He's starting from scratch. I don't know, man.
I'm definitely not down on him as far as saying that he's not who he says he is. He's not an all-star, none of that. No, everything has been up to this point. The reality of the matter is he was an all-star. The reality of the matter is now you have that responsibility in your lap now.
Mm.
That's the reality. The reality of the matter is now that you claim and you got the tag all-star, guess what? Every night you have to be an all-star.
Yeah.
You can't have an off night. You can't have I'm not saying an off night shooting. I'm saying an off night saying no energy, no bringing, you can't be like that. You don't get room to do that. So I don't know. I don't know how he's going. I'm hoping that those 2 embarrassing losses you can't get no more embarrassing than have Marquise Christian and Dragan Bender come in and beat you.
That was hard. Yeah.
That's hard to that's hard.
That was a big pill to swallow.
Man.
Because that's the position group right now.
Monty finally showed a little anger in the dang presser afterwards.
Yeah, he's getting fed up with it too.
Yeah, he almost had his own Jim Moore playoff rant.
I don't have that queued up for you.
No, it's all good. I didn't have it either, but I'm just saying I was listening to it earlier. He almost went off on a rant like, what you mean playoffs, man? We ain't thinking about that right now. We don't even deserve to be thinking about it. He was about to get into that.
He's right.
Continued going, but he was right. It's like, man, we ain't nowhere near thinking no playoffs right now. We can't even win one dang game against a dang lowly Warriors team.
Mm.
But we can beat that team. But for some reason, we just choose not to come in and match intensity and match their enthusiasm and match what they want to do. They don't want to lose. They've only won 13 games, which is crazy.
These Suns,
but let's just hope they get that. We got 22, 21 or so games left. What is your projection of how many wins? We're sitting at 24 wins. Are we going to get past 30?
Yeah, I think we're going to get past 30. I'll go there. I'll say that.
So is it going to be exactly 30 or maybe?
It might be exactly 30. I might say 32,
Okay.
Well, I got to pull up the schedule and double check because there's going to be some games in there that we can't win. Like we play the Lakers again. We play the
right.
And we even play the Clippers again.
The schedule's starting to get a little tougher too, man.
So let's look here. Raptors, that's a loss. Blazers, that's a loss. Bucks, loss. Blazers again. Mavericks, Wolves, Clippers, Mavericks, Pacers, Wizards, Sixers, Heat. I could see Wizards maybe, Cavaliers maybe. We play them twice. So there's 3. Bulls, you could probably get that one. Not the Pelicans, not the Rockets. So we might win 4. We might not get to 30, Earl.
So you pretty much just looking for the non-playoff teams.
Yeah. I'm saying we're going to go 0 against playoff teams right now.
But you can't really even count those because the Warriors are not a playoff team.
You are right on that. You are right. So
anyway,
not even a minimum of 4. A minimum of 1 game we will win.
I don't know. It starts with an attitude first, period. I mean, if you come with the same intensity that you started games with in the beginning of the season, that Jazz game, I mean, the blueprint's there for them to win, how to win.
Let me say this. The attitude doesn't equal being mad that something's off either. That can't be the attitude because that's just mad and complaining.
Exactly.
The attitude is go in there and fix it, have the right attitude to go to work and do what you need to do to correct the ship. So putting that out there too because you got Monty can be mad, Booker can be mad, Ayton can finally show that he's mad at something. It doesn't matter if you guys aren't actually taking the steps to make the changes where you need to.
Well, I'm putting the whole thing on you, Book. Sorry. It has to point to you. The responsibility's in your lap, man. You got to come bring it, and you got to bring it every night. And it doesn't mean yell at everybody because they're not making shots.
You know what, though? There's one more thing about Book that I want to get into real quick. Since it's what's going on. It's news. It's new information.
Uh-oh.
Devin Booker wasn't just in a song of Drake now. He was in a music video. And I'm going to see if I can play a clip of it here and not get us all copyrighted here. But let's see what we got. I don't even know if there's going to be lyrics in this or not. There isn't. Okay, it was just a gift. Never mind. But Booker was in Drake's latest video with Elia Kobo. Maybe that's where his head was at. Maybe he had some jet lag from hanging out and partying with Book one night, or Drake one night. But that was something that happened. So
right. Maybe he got too much going on after the success of the All-Star game. I don't know. I mean, he's getting all kinds of accolades. Everybody praising. I mean, sometimes that's hard to put behind the back burner and get back to where you were. That's hard because you love that. You soak all that up. But then what comes from that after the fact when you don't bring that? Now you get all this criticism, and that's even hard to come back from. So I don't know. He's going to be – he doesn't strike me as a mentally weak person.
no, for sure. He doesn't even hear it.
So that I don't have an issue with. I'm just saying there's something why he just decides to be passive all of a sudden. I mean, when there's time for him to take over a game, he needs to take over a game.
Right.
I mean, unless you're going to start to try to teach DeAndre Ayton how to do that, but he doesn't know how to do that yet.
Yeah, and then people start to argue it's the garbage time of the season now for the Suns too. It's like then it's empty stat. It becomes the empty stat talk again, and I'd rather have that though than you're checking out during the season. So,
well, they have to do something at the end of this season to show some type of positivity going into the next season.
Because otherwise, what are we doing?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
Otherwise, I mean, what is your fan base? What do we have to look forward to? Season like this next year again with our fingers crossed that we have no injuries. I mean, come on. You got to have something to go in on a positive note from this point on.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Suns Nation, sorry to be so salty about the Suns tonight, but it is what it is. Until they can start showing us and playing consistently the way they're supposed to be playing. We're not trying to get this team into a playoff this year. They're not a playoff team this year. We know that. We want to get this team playing consistently, playing hard every night, and showing us that they are a winning team and can beat anybody on any given night. That Jazz game was the example.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Casual Sports Show right here on KSRN, az.com. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook Live. Follow us on all our social media outlets. And you can also catch this again tomorrow morning on KSRN, az.com. Stick around, Bird Game Suns Nation. We'll be right back.
We're going to take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
Oh, who goes yonder? It is I, sire, Richard of Nottingham. Well, speak up, man. What is it? News from me, sire.
Larry
Has returned.
Larry.
You need Larry. Larry!
Send a message. Larry.
Larry!
Fitzgerald
Has returned.
This is Larry Fitzgerald. You listen to the exclusive voice of the Bird Gang, Casual Sports.
Merry New Year!
In this country, we say happy.
Happy New Year!
From all of us here at Casual Sports Radio Network.
Your sports news and the best shows daily. Tune into the best internet station on the web.
A little jump shot is good.
It's an 8-hole Pollock leading off the second against Ross Stripley.
And a drive to left. That ball's got a chance, and that ball will fly out of here. Number 6.
KSRN Casual Sports Radio Network. Subscribe today.
Hey, yo, what's good, Bird Gang? This is Jay Love. And where do you go when you want to get all the information about the Arizona Cardinals? Of course, you come to Casual Sports in the Casual House. You can.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
And welcome back into the Casual House. Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell, Casual Sports Show every Monday night for you, Bird Gang, Suns Nation, right here on KSRN, the hottest internet radio station on the web, bar none, and growing and counting. So we're going to get into what went down at the scouting combine, which is now completed, and a lot of good juice came out of it, man. A lot of things may have even changed some minds as to what this Cardinal team should be doing at number 8.
Sounds like your mind is changed.
Nah,
but we got to.
It's not exactly changed, but I'm a little bit okay with if this doesn't happen, but the only thing that can make me okay with it is that the other thing has to happen.
So we got to hear from the commissioner first. I mean,
exactly.
The first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select.
Who do they select? I don't know. It's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger. Oh,
yeah,
get it? Cliffhanger? Oh, my gosh. I'm too good.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should play that every show until they actually make that pick and make the pick and see what we think it is and see if we can match it.
Yeah, I was just thinking I just spaced on the name for the Spanish commentator for the Cardinals, but when he says, Letty.
Oh, Letty.
Guess what? that's gonna sound just as good when he says CD, 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 CD. No, it might work. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know. But when you look at this draft, though, man, it's going to come down to pure talent, pure whoever is in line on your board in order of talent. Basically, is what it's going to come down to. If the Cardinals have X, Y, Z on their list as the number one guy, all the way down to the number, I'd say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys as far as talent goes, when they all start to come off that list, you just fall with the next person that's in line as talent to take. And that's usually how the draft goes in that war room. After watching that combine and the people that came up in the combine, the people that went down in the combine, I mean, I wanted this we were talking yesterday, and I told you that my second pick now, I was going to lean toward Isaiah Simmons.
The fastest linebacker in the draft, right?
I don't see him being there. I don't see him being there.
Not after that 40 time.
Nuh-uh. Not at that 40 time, and not at knowing that you can put him anywhere on the field. I watched the tape. The dude was covering receivers on a deep ball.
Yeah.
And breaking it up.
I do want to see how he is on tight ends, but nowadays tight ends go deep, so okay.
If he can cover a slot receiver deep, he can cover a tight end. So I mean, but I saw that on tape several times that he ends up in coverage on a slot receiver, and he just picking them up maybe because somebody else, busted assignment or whatever it may be. He ended up on a wide receiver, and he was covering it and broke the pass up a couple of times. That dude will not be on the board. I'm thinking he might even go before Chase Young. And
it might.
This is why you don't sit out the combine.
Not until there's a better format in place for everybody, but yeah.
Exactly. Because now this kid is being touted as the top guy over a Chase Young, but Chase Young has been the top guy since day one.
Yeah, because the counter argument for not sitting out is you get drafted 3 rounds lower than you might have if you moved up. You have to sit through that 5-year rookie contract or 4 to 5 year rookie contract without getting compensated. You could get hurt. You could be done for the rest of your life. You just don't know with football. But 2 things I want to point out real quick. Some buzz going around. Pro Football Talk says that coverage is the biggest Cardinals necessity. However, Complex Sports believes in their mock draft that CeeDee Lamb will go number 8 to the Cardinals as well. So it sounds like there's starting to become a little bit of a rift about what people think the Cardinals are going to do.
Yeah.
And another article going and even going as far as saying that the Cardinals are not shy about their interest in wide receivers in this draft. They've already leaked out that they talked to 3 of the top receivers in this draft already.
Correct.
At the combine. So they're definitely thinking about it. They're definitely looking at it. And all the times I see CeeDee's picture associated with the Cardinals, it's a picture of CeeDee and Murray together when they were with Oklahoma. So it's kind of just becoming an easy pick, an easy shoe-in for the Cardinals, really, and for the professionals who make the picks.
I agree with that, and I'm hoping that that's the way it goes. But the defensive talent in this draft supersedes everything else, it looks like. What I mean by that is you can't pass up on a dynamic defensive guy.
So you would take him over CeeDee Lamb?
I would take Isaiah Simmons over CeeDee Lamb if they're both there for me to choose from. And the reason why is because defense always, we have to have some resistance to stop a team. Our offense is going to be able to score points.
I won't be mad.
But
go ahead.
No, I wouldn't be mad. Like I said, either way, personally, Earl Burnett wants CeeDee Lamb, period. But the business side and looking at this draft, I would not be mad getting that type of player on defense for this team because they need that type of player. Somebody that can go side to side anywhere and cover a tight. I mean, come on. The last 2 years we've been pathetic covering tight ends.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I would not be mad if they did that. If it's anybody else other than Isaiah Simmons, it has to be CeeDee Lamb for me.
And I'm right there with you because all last year, every time I talked about anything about the Cardinals' game plan was, can anyone cover a tight end, please?
Right.
Isaiah Simmons seems like like the godsend guy who can do that. Now,
for not just us, but every other team too?
You're probably right about that, and that's what makes it hard because the flash of the CeeDee Lamb and the pairing and the future after Larry and all that stuff is also as intriguing for Cardinal fans, more so than other teams probably. And so it's like this double-edged sword. You get CeeDee Lamb, your future at wide receiver, and your offense is stacked forever. If you don't get Simmons, we will just be having a shootout every week, which is kind of the Cardinals memo. But I can't pick either or. I just can't. I want them both. Can I have both?
Me too.
They're like, what flavor would you want at the ice cream truck today, Johnny? Do you want vanilla or chocolate? I want both.
Exactly.
That's not an option. I want both. Like, I'm going to throw a tantrum in the street right now if I don't get both.
All us Cardinal fans that have been ready to throw Steve Keim out of the office on his butt, out on his rear outside the door, his job actually just got a little easier, in my opinion.
You think he can't fail?
He can't screw this up. He cannot screw this up
unless they both go beforehand.
Look, let's just look at it real quick. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
I believe, I don't know why, this is going to be everybody a copycat league we're in. The Redskins are going to copy what we did last year. They see a dynamic quarterback that can get them to the next level.
We copied what they did.
I'm telling you.
We copied them with the Kirk Cousins and the RG3 thing.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
They're just copying themselves. Let's just
Okay. You're right. But we're going current, up to date.
Of course. Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. But yes, I think the Redskins are going to do what we did last year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go ahead and grab Tua or take a team, let Miami come up to get him. One of the two, but they're going to take him.
Yeah, because then they could just justify trading Haskins to Miami for nothing if they wanted to, I guess.
You can't pass up on a franchise quarterback. If you get the chance, like we did last year, if you get the chance to get the guy that you know that's going to be that special guy, you got to take it.
How cold would that be of the Redskins to take Tua, sit him for a year, let him really heal, play up Haskins, make it seem like he's your guy, and then trade him?
You don't take a guy that high to sit him on the bench.
But if he's hurt, I mean, he's still recovering. That was a pretty nasty injury. So, I mean, I would give him time. Especially if he's going to be your future, then let Haskins take the hits.
Correct.
And then trade him. I mean, that's cold, but that's the business.
You can't really take the injury out of the equation. I know that because that's the reality that he did have it and it's existing.
Yeah.
But apart from his injury, that dude is a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. That dude's going to be a special quarterback.
Yeah, he's got
that
something.
Dude was playing in a pro system before he got hurt.
And doing really well.
And man, I mean, when he was a freshman, came into a big, giant game that was, he came in and won that game. I mean, come on, that don't just happen. That kid is special. I'm telling you, you do not pass up on guys that special. And I guarantee you, Joe Burrow first and Tua's going to be the number 2 pick in this draft, regardless of who's taking him. He's going to be the number 2 draft pick. Whether it be Miami coming up to get him or whoever's coming up to get him, he's going to be number 2.
If not 2, then 3 because of a trade. Yeah, I could see that.
For sure. So then the Lions would be they're not going to pass up on Chase Young, right?
Well, I mean, if Tua's there and Stafford's kind of wanting a change of scenery, that could happen there too. So, I mean, yeah, if he's off the board, I see Chase Young because that's just a freak on the defensive line.
Well, Stafford's coach already came out and said that ain't happening. He's our guy. He's our quarterback.
How many times did Bruce say that before shipping somebody out? I mean, it happens. Come on.
You know how they do it. They got to throw some stuff out there.
You got to drive the price up. No, this is a one-of-a-kind quarterback. He throws the best interceptions. You can't have him. You can't have him. No, but and then Miami comes by. I really want him. You can't have him. He throws the best interceptions. And then Miami gives the first. And then Miami gives the first for him, and then that's a good deal.
Okay, but remember Miami all year long. We all been saying last year that they were tanking for Tua, right?
And they screwed it up.
Yeah, I mean Tua getting hurt, I guess, must have helped screw it up a little bit, but they got to come up and get him, or the Redskins are definitely going to take him.
This NFL.com mock draft by Daniel Jeremiah, who's pretty good at these things, drafted up a scenario where Tua does land in Miami at 5. Because Chase Young, at 5, because Chase Young would go to the Redskins, And
Okay.
even Mitch is commenting on Facebook saying that the Redskins owner is way too stubborn to let Haskins go. He loves him too much. So they would take Chase Young.
Let me rebuttal that real quick.
Go ahead.
Didn't the Redskins just hire a new coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
How do we know that Haskins was his actual guy?
Doesn't Dan Snyder run the show though?
He always has.
So I mean, come on. So then
That's
they got
Jerry Jones type thing going on over there.
A little bit. So the Lions would end up taking Jeff. I always mess his name up. Okuda from Ohio State, the corner. Yep.
He had a rough combine.
So to be there at 3, this is probably this is post combine. So he still thinks he's going to go 3.
Okay, he's still going to be the number 1 guy, but he had a pretty tough. I mean, not saying that he did bad. He was just really stiff and really nervous looking.
This is a pick that a lot of people believe will be traded, that the Lions want to move down. They've said as much. Okay. So if the Lions can move down and still get this cornerback, they will. Number 4 for the Giants, some people have Tristan Wirfs, the offensive lineman, and then that's how Tua would go number 5. Because at 4,
possible.
You don't want a quarterback.
That's possible.
1 through 3, you need a quarterback. 4 does not.
So if you got the Giants taking Wirfs, so you're saying he's better than Thomas and the Beckham kid?
Maybe. I mean, this thing also has us taking Jedrick Wills, tackle out of Alabama. So,
oh man,
Daniel Jeremiah doesn't believe in Justin Murray apparently, but I mean, seeing Isaiah Simmons pass up on New York's defense, I think New York would want him. I get that you want to protect Daniel Jones, and that might trump having Isaiah Simmons, but that Giants defense isn't that bad. And if you put Isaiah Simmons on that defense,
man,
that'd be pretty nasty.
That's why I think he's not going to be on this board. So that's why I think CeeDee Lamb has to be our pick.
Yeah, because this mock draft right here has 4 linemen going in the first 10 picks, and I don't see that happening.
4 linemen?
4 linemen. I think Daniel Jeremiah is feeling himself a little too much with this.
How many quarterbacks he got? Just 2?
In the top 10, just 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't see that draft shaking out that way because
I don't see it shaking out like that either.
That pushes Jerry Jeudy to 12. And that pushes CeeDee Lamb to 17 to the Cowboys, and we all don't want that to happen.
That's not happening. That's not happening. He's not going to go that. He's not going to be on the board that long. I don't think so.
No one wants that happening.
I mean, he's not going to even get past the Raiders at 12. Who do they have the Raiders taking?
The Raiders were taking. I just hopped off of it. That was AJ Terrell, 19th pick. Are you talking about before that? Let's see. They picked 12. That was Jeudy going 12 to the Raiders.
Okay, so they got him taking Jeudy instead of CeeDee. Man, I mean, it's going to be a lot of different scenarios, but this is going to come down to, like I said, putting all this talent in order. And then, because like you said, you never know who's going to trade up, trade down. We have no clue how that's going to turn out. Nobody knows that.
And you never know which team's going to take based off need. Some people still do that. If the need's big enough, if it's glaring, like Cincinnati with a quarterback now, or say Miami with anything, everything's a need for Miami. So it just depends on what the theology.
When it comes to need, everybody that needs the quarterback always draft for need.
Yeah,
that was us last year. Even though that need was still the best pick in the draft, we happened to just say it was a need still.
Yeah,
but I just think once the quarterbacks are off the board, and those 2 good offensive tackles go, and then that 1 defensive end, which is probably going to be Simmons over Brown, the Cardinals are going to be left standing there looking at Derek Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, what's the other kid's name? Kinlaw? I mean, all these talented kids are going to be right there on the board, staring them in the face. Who do you take? How do you lose taking any of those?
I think the defensive tackle picks aren't going to be the flashiest of picks with the fan base. I think they'll get a little mad at that. I think the one, because I think
we keep hearing everybody crying about the defense.
Right, but at the same time, you're now looking at 2 of the greatest receivers that we've seen in a deep draft, and you get to pick the top of them. Like you're thinking here's this NFL hot fudge sundae, right? And you're looking at it, and all the other teams are like, I'll just have kale. And it gets to your pick, and you even the cherry's still on the top of the sundae, And you get to take the cherry right off and just right before anyone else gets a chance of it. So I think they want receiver, the fans want receiver, or the fans want, I think, Simmons. After seeing Simmons run like that,
right?
I saw that and I go, wait a minute. I like that.
4.39.
I like that.
You know?
I could just see him just running right through somebody.
There's not a tight end in that NFL league that can run that fast.
There might be a couple, but still, they might be matched up with him. So
I don't know. I don't think there's I didn't say wide receiver. I said tight end. I don't think there's a tight end that can run that fast.
Isaiah Simmons ran faster than it looked like Julio, Odell, and AJ Green in there.
Exactly.
So,
like I said, I don't think there's a tight end in the league that can run that dang fast. So, if the Cardinals are doing anything, if they are going to go need, and he's there, I know they're going to take him. I know they would.
Those are the ones that you go for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I doubt. Like I said, I doubt it. I mean, it's so unless we move in the draft somewhere to get him. I mean, because if that's your guy, go get him.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be there. And like I said, I got a feeling that we're going to have one of those. There's always one shock in the draft that just turns everything to go a different direction. That could be the turn where Chase Young is supposed to be going third or second, and Simmons goes before him.
Yeah, that would mess up the Cardinals for sure.
That would really rock everything.
You paired him with Chandler.
Research. Did a little research on Derrick Brown, who is the offensive tackle, offensive lineman in this draft. They say he's the best run stopper. And this is defensive lineman. I'm sorry, I said offensive line.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle in this draft, the best run stopper in this draft by far. But his negatives are the effectiveness in the passing game. He's not, his hand, and they said he's slow to react to wide runs and can get cut off. That's in the running game. So this guy's pretty talented, but yet they still have flaws. And some of those flaws that scare you are the ones that says this is the main one that scare me.
Mm-hmm.
Motor wears down. When you hear motor running down, what does that point to?
That points to today's NFL tiring him the hell out, not even being able to come off the field because he can't get to it. So
right,
that's a big concern for sure.
Sometimes when I hear motor running down, it resonates a guy. I don't want to say quitting, but a guy kind of like in so many ways take plays off.
Yeah,
I don't like it. That's a red flag to me.
Yeah,
and we've had too many of those guys on this team.
I think he's gonna drop with some of that stuff coming out.
So exactly. So now when you see that, and you have CeeDee Lamb and so forth on the board, you have to take the guy that's a sure thing.
You have one guy making 360 circus catches, and then you have this guy with some concerns about his motor.
Some concerns, yeah.
I'll take the motor that's already looking like a Ferrari. Thank you.
Man, they even said it too. Game to game consistency is lacking in Brown. That's game to game. So he could be like, "Oh, this is a sorry team we playing. I don't have to bring it this hard."
It comes to mind one name.
Oh yeah,
Robert Condici.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
Synonymous with that.
We're years away from finding Darnell Dockett's replacement. This guy isn't it, and Condici wasn't it either. So move on. He's going to be a legend Cardinal. Because there isn't a guy that was like Darnell Dockett. So stop looking and just take the engine.
If Steve Keim can find a way, if he can find a way to add another pick in this first round.
Oh, you are dreaming, Earl. What's in your cup right now?
This is the reason why. Look, go ahead and negotiate next year's first round pick. Because it's going to be one of those, 20 to 32 picks. You're going to be a better team. You're not going to be way down here in the top 10. At least we hope you won't be. Go ahead and negotiate that first round pick and get somebody in that late first round. Now you got a chance to get both the guys you want to get. It could happen. I mean, if you're a good willing dealer and you can do some things like that, it could happen. Teams love stocking draft picks.
In the first round, though.
I know it's going to take a lot to do that. Remember this year we only have 6 picks. We don't have a 5th round pick because we gave that 5th round pick up to Miami for Drake. So we only got 6 picks.
You might have to give up David Johnson in like a third to try and get a first or something. I don't know. That's probably not even the right value, but you have to do something weird
no,
and
that
throw
ain't
a
gonna
player
definitely be
in.
the right value. Oh, well, it all depends on who you're dealing with. What if
Right.
it is Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay picks in the teens, right?
Huh?
Tampa Bay picks in the teens, don't they?
That I stopped at 12. I didn't go all the way down, but
I think
Tampa Bay was not. What about like 17 or 18, somewhere around there?
Let me pull that up real quick. Hold music. 14. There we go.
Oh, that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. So, man, that would be awesome, though. You move David and get to 14 and the damn 8. That would be cool. That is dreaming, though.
Yeah, because if CD falls and you end up with Simmons and you get both, there's my why not both scenario. But Earl, you don't make me dream like that, okay?
No. Here's what I'm
have
saying.
Me crying on draft night.
The reason why I say that is because the talent pool in this draft is overwhelming good at receiver, running back,
linebacker,
and some offensive linemen that you can get even in the second round.
I don't know why it just so happens that the draft where we have certain needs is the draft where that's the strength. I don't get it. I don't know how this has happened, and this kind of works out too because this is really Steve Keim's like last you're on notice year. If he screws this one up, when there's all these you can go for need and best available at the same time.
Right.
If you screw these up, you're gone.
Yeah, I don't think he can screw this. At least the first round pick. I don't think he can screw that one up.
Which is also unlike him.
Exactly. I don't see him screwing up that first round pick because of the talent that's there, and it's too many. I can't say too many because nothing's 100% sure, but the closest thing to absolute positively, this dude is not no way can be a bust. 100% automatic production on day one. Has to be that wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, unless Simmons is there and you believe you can get CD after.
That's it. Those are the two. That's it. I boiled it down to those 2 picks. That's it. If they do anything outside of those 2 picks, I think it's a reach, and it's kind of like, we don't know what we getting.
Give me a player comparison for Brandon Ayuk because he might go late first, but there's a chance you can get him in the second.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you compare
Ayuk.
to? Yeah.
I kind of like James Jones.
Okay.
The Green Bay receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be able to take punts back.
Big body.
And be a possession type receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a possession type of receiver, and he can. He's dynamic with that ball in his hand after catching it.
So you hedge your bets. You get Simmons if he's there because that's a need and a talent thing, and then you maybe try and get Ayuk in the second. You might have to move around a little bit, but that could still work. I mean, then you still question did you need a wide receiver then at that? But it's an ASU kid, so you pacify the fans a little bit.
Right. When you get to second round and taking a receiver that high, now you're going, okay, you still got in your own house some little young talent that's still developing that might be the next whatever. You don't know. But the reason why you take a receiver in that first round is because he's a sure talent that's going to be a superstar type of talent. The guy that's going to be Larry Fitzgerald's successor. The guy's going to hold your franchise together, connected with Murray for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason you take that guy in the first round. You don't pull that in the second round. Now, there's going to be some second-round talent there, that's for sure. But then there's other needs by that time. When I'm getting to the second, third, and fourth round, now I'm looking for my needs.
This tells me
that first round is talent alone.
If they take this, if they take Simmons defensively, this is going to become like a defensive draft. I think the majority of it is. Kind of like how last year was an offensive draft for the most part. I think that's what they're going to do. They might take one of each position in the first 2 rounds, and then everything after that is just all of one position side, all of offense or defense. It's going to be interesting.
Let's jump a little bit more into something else, a little complex. Do they take a running back in this draft at any one of these 6 picks?
It's so hard to say right now because Drake still isn't official. So
Because look at the top 4 running backs.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go ahead and say no before you say that. Go ahead.
Okay. DeAndre Swift out of Georgia, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin, Zach Moss out of Utah, and Clyde Edward Eclair from LSU. 4 of the top running backs in this draft. Those 4 top running backs, I don't even think neither one of those guys are going to go in the first round, and maybe one of them, maybe Swift, go in the first round. You got 3 guys that are going to be around in the second round.
Yeah, I like the Wisconsin kid, but if the intent is to keep Drake, and you're definitely keeping David, unless something happens in the draft and that changes, they might have like a if we can get rid of David on draft night, then we'll take another running back type scenario to back up Chase. But if not, that's the one room that I don't think you touch because you have a lot of money tied up into it.
Yeah, you have a lot of money unnecessarily tied up into it too.
Yeah.
I mean, running backs, we already know running backs are pretty much a dime a dozen. Look at the 2 running backs that were in the Super Bowl this year.
Well, especially in this offense.
Right. Exactly. That's the key point to the whole thing. It's not like you got a 30 carry bruiser back there that you're handing the ball to,
there's
after time after time.
There's no Jerome Bettis in this draft.
Exactly.
Or in this offense.
So any I'm not going to say any running back can work in this system, but a good shifty, fast, speeding running back could work in this system.
Yeah, the ones that you just burn the tires out and you replace every 2 or 3 years.
Basically. Yeah. So you bring in the next guy that's going to be, even if you keep Drake, you still bring in another guy that's going to probably be the guy that can take over when, those wheels fall off.
Right.
So I don't think I would take a running back that high at 2.
No.
I mean, you could probably find somebody a good, shifty, nice. I mean, you remember what happened with Chase Edmonds when we got him. So you could find a good 3rd or 4th round maybe if, who knows. So what's the next need? After, of course, the talent, there's the needs start to be filled.
I would start to go with offensive line depth. I don't think that you need to look for a starter home run guy here because I think Justin Murray is evolving into a pro tackle here.
Okay.
And I like what we have at guard and center at the moment. So I think you go for depth there, maybe a swing lineman that can kind of play a little bit of everything just in case an injury pops up. Other than that, I'd say hit up another linebacker, hit up another cornerback. If you could find a tight end that could catch, that would be great. That Arnold kid though looked really nice late in the season.
Yeah, I think you got to give that kid a chance. I think he's
especially if you have that wide receiver room and CeeDee Lamb in that room, like tight ends aren't going to be your number one option. So I'll be okay if you don't get a tight end there. You keep Arnold, but you have CD. So that's fine with me too. But I say you focus mostly on linebackers galore. And maybe an edge rusher to complement Chandler, but linebacker.
Okay, there were some mock drafts that had us taking Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. And from what I remember in this draft or in his tape and watching him, he was a left tackle. Why would we be taking a left tackle? We just paid DJ Humphries.
And that's the funny thing, because some people just look at need. They don't necessarily look at like the team ticker and who we just signed. I don't think that's someone that we're going to take at all.
Right. I don't think so either, because you definitely can't be talking about moving somebody over to another. I mean, please, let's not do that. Let's not spend our first round pick taking somebody to move him somewhere else.
No, he's big and he's fast, and that's great and all, but we just signed a guy to play left tackle. Why would we draft this guy? Like, you shouldn't have a 364-pound right tackle.
Exactly.
Right. Like, that shouldn't happen, and you're not going to move DJ, so this move makes no sense.
Right.
And I know you're not picking it. I know it's the national guys that are picking it that aren't paying attention. But
this is a very, very, very important draft for your future going forward for the Cardinals. How much of this draft do you think now Cliff Kingsbury's in now? To knock last year, he was handed everything. Like, you already have, this is the roster, this is what we're giving you. Bam. I mean, we might give you a little snippet what you might want at quarterback. Okay, we gave you Kyler Murray, but now are they looking at Cliff and saying, Cliff, what do you need in your offense? And is it starting with him, or does this come straight from Keim?
I'm going to give you a percentage breakdown of who I think's making the decisions in that room come draft day.
Okay.
You're going to have Steve Keim at, let's say, 60%. You're going to have Michael Bidwell at 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're at 70 now if we're doing math. You're going to have Cliff Kingsbury at, let's give it 20%. So that's 90. And you're going to give Kyler Murray 10%. Kyler Murray's going to have some voice in here too because he's already campaigning for a guy.
Now here's my question. You said Cliff Kingsbury's getting how much?
I said 20%.
20%, okay. So how is somebody like Steve Keim have so much of that percentage when he doesn't know the offense as well as Cliff Kingsbury knows his offense?
Well, that's where the 10% comes in because Cliff's going to tell him what the offense needs. And then Keim's going to decide what's best for that, what guy is best for that based on character evaluations, based on intangibles, things like that. Like, okay, these two tight ends are really good at running pick a route, and those are the routes that Cliff said we need for tight ends. But this guy has, a DUI charge, and this guy walks his grandmother across the street every Sunday for church. Like, okay, Steve's going to make that choice based on those evaluations, not just he can run this route really well.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that room.
Yes.
When you're sitting there with Derek Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Kinlaw,
Simmons,
and Jeff, the cornerback. All those kids, those dynamic guys that make a difference right out of the gate. Where do you even start? And who will have the final say in that first pick? Because that's the key. That's important because if you take Cliff Kingsbury out of the equation and say it's all Steve Keim, Steve Keim's going to make a Steve Keim move.
Right.
But now remember, the move you made last year, putting that guy in charge, you're pretty much telling him we're giving you what you need to make us a better offense and a better whatever we're supposed to be. So, therefore, I would think Cliff Kingsbury's percentage is a little bit higher than 20.
Okay, I'll give you 30, and I'll bump Kyler down to 5 and Michael down to 5. How about that?
I wouldn't even put Kyler in the equation.
I'm telling you, he's got a little bit of
Kyler's going to be just like a little phone call to be like, I already know what you want. Be quiet, dude. Click.
You don't think they're going to have him in the room? He's going to be like a little kid like at the toy store.
I don't think
I want the race car. I want the race car.
I don't think he earned that yet. Give him a year where he.
That was my hot take for the night, and you just stomped all over it.
Oh, my bad.
I'm just playing.
I mean, there's a certain limit to that. I mean, that's too early. That's too much power. Too much. I mean, he needs to earn that. I think he needs to have a little bit more stock behind him before he can say, I want. But they already know what the kid wants. I mean,
it's obvious.
Yeah.
He's going to walk in there wearing a CeeDee Lamb jersey.
The writing on the wall, the offense alone tells you who to pick. I mean, you want to be dynamic? You want to be unstoppable?
Take him.
Yeah. That's what it's going to come down to. Because a lot of these other guys that's going to be left taking Simmons off the board because Simmons is not going to be there. That's the only guy I would say, okay, I'm good with that. That's the only guy.
Yeah, he might not be there.
Take him off the board. Everybody else got too many other flaws that would make you go, uh-oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Besides the receivers, of course. Wait a minute. No motor? Derek Brown, really? Sometimes he's inconsistent. I don't want to be dealing with that again, man.
Yeah.
We don't want another guy to come in here and you have to kick him in his butt to get him to do what he's supposed to do. We don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
We need that guy that's going to be a dog coming out from day one that's saying, get me the ball and I will make the plays for you.
Yeah,
that dude is CeeDee Lamb, period. Bird Gang, I know y'all got a lot of opinions, and I know everybody's talking about where our defense was last year and all that. There's just two picks, in my opinion, that help us in the first round instantly to be a better team. That's either Simmons or that CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver. Period.
And you let the fallout of the wide receiver room lay there as it may, based on picking CD. Whoever gets cut, if it's Isabella, Butler.
Oh, you can just take a choice.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Just take a choice. Because that kid, I'm telling you, he's going to be on the field day one, and he's not going to be no fifth and fourth receiver.
No.
No way. I mean, Christian Kirk better look out. You think you number two, you got it sewed up. Hold on a second. I mean, Larry might be in his last little legs here. He might not even be a one. So who knows? If this kid is that dynamic and he comes in to be that dynamic and he's that.
They might not even use numbers.
right, that much of a weapon, then Kyler's going to start sticking to that guy. You know, they're going to get back that chemistry they had, hopefully, and you know, in Oklahoma, and then next thing you know, we're off and running.
Yeah,
hopefully. Man, I can't wait to get down to Vegas because it's going to be on and cracking for this draft. We're going to be down there representing and screaming at Steve Cobb if he don't make this pick right. But Bird Gang, Suns Nation, thank you for coming in again. Another lovely Monday night to the Casual Sports Show. Myself, Earl Burnett, Sean McConnell, say peace till next time.
Peace.